guys at the minute are really enjoying the conspiracy theory videos, so I always aim to please, so over the next few months there'll be plenty. But tonight I figured we'd get a little bit more specific with the conspiracy theories we cover. And my most popular video ever is a fact video about space. So I thought, why not put the two together and do a video about conspiracy theories all about space. So there's some conspiracies that you'll definitely be familiar with in this video, and probably some that you're not, but there are some pretty entertaining ones, so sit back, relax, and enjoy. We begin with this one. NASA, do conspiracy theorists know we do not have child slaves on Mars? You've got to feel sorry for NASA. The venerable space agency is trying its best to just get on with its missions. It just wants to fly its astronauts to Mars, keep an eye on our climate and environment from up above, and send its spacecraft to say hello to lonely old Pluto. Instead, they are constantly being attacked by all manner of polemicists, morons, pseudoscientists, and conspiracy theorists. Between pointing out that the Earth is most certainly not flat, that those $120 a piece Paltrow patches do not use NASA technology to heal you, and that Hacking Group Anonymous has not uncovered a plot to hide the existence of extraterrestrials from us mere mortals, they also have to deny that they have child slaves on other planets. That last one is new, and it's all thanks to a rather infamous right-wing provocateur named Alex Jones, whose name should induce a visceral reaction that's somewhere on the spectrum between eye-rolling and uncontrollable vomiting. Jones recently popped up on his InfoWars show, and with the help of Robert Steele, an ex-CIA officer and a peddler of some truly batshit crazy conspiracy theories, gave what is arguably his most bizarre segment to date. Starting off talking about sexual deviance and the occult, the two of them suddenly segued into talking about child slaves on Mars. A transition about as unexpected as it is insane. This may strike your listeners as way out, but we actually believe that there is a colony on Mars that is populated by children who were kidnapped and sent into space on a 20-year ride, Steele said, with no sense of irony whatsoever. So that once they get to Mars they have no alternative but to be slaves on the Mars colony. Jones, nodding along like this was a perfectly ordinary conversation to have, then utters some noises that involve the words, "You have no idea," and "They don't want us looking into what is happening." The segment ends with Jones attempting to be skeptical. "Well, I don't know about Mars bases, but I know they've created massive thousands of different types of chimeras that are alien life forms on this Earth now," he blustered. NASA, feeling like this was just too ridiculous not to comment on, sent a spokesperson out to officially deny the claims in the most nonchalant way possible. There are no humans on Mars. There are active rovers on Mars. There was a rumour going around last week that there weren't. there are. Guy Webster, a spokesperson for Mars exploration at NASA, told the Daily Beast, but there are no humans. The president listens to Alex Jones's broadcasts from time to time, by the way. Let that thought sink in. Next up, we have a slightly more well-known conspiracy theory in the hollow moon theory. Hollow moon. The hollow moon and the closely related spaceship moon are pseudoscientific hypotheses that propose that Earth's moon is either wholly hollow or otherwise contains a substantial interior space. No scientific evidence exists to support the idea. Seismic observations and other data collected since spacecraft began to orbit or land on the moon indicate that it has a solid, differentiated interior with a thin crust, extensive mantle and a dense core, which is significantly smaller in relative terms than Earth's. While hollow moon hypotheses usually propose the hollow space as the result of natural processes, the related spaceship moon hypothesis holds that the moon is an artifact created by an alien civilization. This belief usually coincides with beliefs in UFOs or ancient astronauts. This idea dates from 1970, when two Soviet authors published a short piece in the popular press speculating that the moon might be the creation of alien intelligence. Since then, it has occasionally been endorsed by conspiracy theorists like Jim Mars and David Icke. An at least partially hollow moon has made many appearances in science fiction, the earliest being H.G. Wells's 1901 novel, The First Men in the Moon, which borrowed from earlier work set in a hollow Earth. Both the hollow moon and hollow Earth theories are now universally considered to be fringe or conspiracy theories. So, claims and rebuttals. Firstly, density. The fact that the moon is less dense than the Earth is advanced by conspiracy theorists as supports for claims of a hollow moon. The moon's mean density is 3.3 grams per centimetre cubed, whereas the Earth's is 5.5 grams per centimetre cubed. Mainstream science argues this difference is due to the fact that the Earth's upper mantle and crust are less dense than its heavy iron core. Next, the moon rang like a bell. The moon rang like a bell. Between 1969 and 1977, seismometers installed on the moon by the Apollo missions recorded moonquakes. The moon was described as ringing like a bell during some of those quakes, specifically the shallow ones. This phrase was brought to popular attention in March 1970 in an article in Popular Science. On November 20th, 1969, Apollo 12 deliberately crashed the ascent stage of its lunar module onto the moon's surface. NASA reported that the moon rang like a bell for almost an hour, leading to arguments that it must be hollow like a bell. Lunar seismology experiments since then have shown that the lunar body has shallow moonquakes that act differently from quakes on Earth due to its differences in texture, type, and density, but there is still no evidence of any large empty space inside the body. Next we have Vasin and Sherbakov spaceship conjecture. In 1970, Vasin and Alexander Sherbakov of the Soviet Academy of Sciences advanced a hypothesis that the moon is a spaceship created by unknown beings. The article was entitled, "Is the Moon Created? Is the Moon the Creation of Alien Intelligence?" and was published in Sputnik, the Soviet equivalent of Reader's Digest. The Vasin-Sherbakov hypothesis was reported in the West that same year. The authors reference earlier speculation by astrophysicist Iosif Shklovsky, who suggested that the Martian moon Phobos was an artificial satellite and hollow. This has since been shown not to be the case. Skeptical author Jason Colavito points out that all of their evidence is circumstantial, and that in the 1960s, the atheistic Soviet Union promoted the ancient astronaut concept in an attempt to undermine the West's faith in religion. And finally we have perfect solar eclipses. In 1965, author Isaac Asimov observed, "What makes a total eclipse so remarkable is the sheer astronomical accident that the moon fits so snugly over the sun. The moon is just large enough to cover the sun completely at times, so that a temporary night falls and the stars spring out. The sun's greater distance makes up for its greater size, and the result is that the moon and sun appear to be equal in size. There is no astronomical reason why moon and sun should fit so well. It is the sheerest of coincidence, and only the Earth among all the planets is blessed in this fashion." Since the 1970s, conspiracy theorists have cited Asimov's observations on solar eclipses as evidence of the moon's artificiality. Mainstream astronomers reject this interpretation. They note that the angular diameters of Sun and Moon vary by several percent over time and do not actually perfectly match during eclipses. Nor is the Earth the only planet with such a satellite. Saturn's moon Prometheus has roughly the same angular diameter as the Sun when viewed from Saturn. Some scholars have claimed that the conditions required for perfect solar eclipses are the same conditions generally acknowledged to be necessary for intelligent life to emerge. If so, the moon's size and orbit might be best explained by the weak anthropic principle. Yeah, I mean, sometimes conspiracy theories have compelling aspects, but to be honest, none of those arguments were super compelling, to be honest. Not too sure what the point would be of building an artificial moon, but you never know. Next up we have Nibiru, the non-existent planet. Linked to the close of the Mayan calendar, a variety of rumours spread regarding ways the world could end back in 2012. One popular contender was Nibiru, a supposed planet that some claimed would collide with Earth at the end of the year. But despite the buzz, there's no scientific evidence supporting the alleged planet's existence. And of course, our planet survived 2012 without absorbing a massive impact. Nibiru has been linked to NASA by various bloggers. Because of this claimed connection, space agency officials put out a statement saying that no big planet was coming to destroy Earth in 2012. What follows below is the true science and history of this supposed rogue planet, with reference to a real object, Comet Elenin, that somehow got mixed up in this whole mess. So, the origins of the Nibiru myth. The story begins in 1976, when Zachariah Sitchin wrote The 12th Planet, a book which used Sitchin's own unique translation of Sumerian cuneiform to identify a planet. I've never seen that word before in my life. Nibiru, orbiting the Sun every 3,600 years. Several years later, Nancy Leader, a self-described psychic, announced that the aliens she claimed to channel had warned her this planet would collide with Earth in 2003. After a collision for a year, funnily enough, the date was moved back to 2012, where it was linked to the close of the Mayan long count period. When Comet Elenin appeared in 2011, many were concerned that it was the mysterious planet in disguise, despite the fact that planets and comets appear very different under a telescope. But instead of slamming into the Earth, the comet strayed too close to the Sun and broke into pieces. The leftover fragments will continue on their path to the outer solar system for the next 12,000 years. But still, bits of comet are not a more cohesive planet. So proponents of this fictitious planet know that in 1984, a scientific paper was published in the Astrophysical Journal Letters, which discussed several infrared sources with no counterparts that turned up in a survey of the sky. Such surveys are common in astronomy and usually involve follow-ups that individually detail the more interesting sources. In the follow-up of the 1984 survey, most of the sources turned out to be distant galaxies. None were identified as planets. Both papers are available to the public. A planet with an orbit so eccentric that it took 3,600 years to orbit the Sun would create instabilities inside our 4.5 billion-year-old solar system. After only a few trips, its gravity would have significantly disrupted the other planets, whose own gravitational pushes would have changed the hypothetical world's orbit significantly. The easiest and most verifiable piece of evidence arguing against the existence of the theoretical planet can be performed by anyone. According to the information available, a planet with a 3,600-year-long orbit that was due to impact Earth in 2012 should be available to the naked eye. Easily performed calculations show that by April 2012, it would have been brighter than the faintest stars viewed from a city, and almost as bright as Mars at its dimmest. This would have made it visible to astronomers everywhere. The most common rebuttal to this is the cry of cover-up. However, there are hundreds of thousands of amateur astronomers around the world, many of whom own their own telescopes. On top of that, most of the thousands of professional astronomers are linked not to the government, but rather to private universities. Astronomer David Morrison pointed out in 2012 that NASA and the government get most of their information from these outside astronomers, not the other way round. Between the amateur and professional astronomers, there are plenty of people who would have noticed a new star in the sky. Moving on to our fourth conspiracy theory now. This is a super quick one. Social media posts falsely claim space station footage is faked. So the claim, footage purporting to show astronauts on board the International Space Station, is staged and was actually filmed on Earth. This is from AP News. AP's assessment is false. A spokesperson for NASA and space science experts say the footage is legitimate, and there is ample evidence to show that there are real people on the massive research complex floating above Earth. Additionally, examples cited as proof of an elaborate hoax are easily explained. Footage of astronauts in spacesuits working underwater is from training exercises at NASA, for example, and video glitches are due to satellite transmission interruptions. The facts. Some social media users are reviving a long-running conspiracy theory that no one is actually manning the wheel in the International Space Station that's been orbiting Earth for more than 2 decades now. A number are sharing a video clip that purports to show visual evidence that many scenes from the football field-sized floating laboratory are faked using Hollywood tricks. The clip suggests some footage from the station contains astronauts purportedly pulling at hidden wires or wearing harnesses in order to appear to be in a gravityless environment. And I'm going to try and find the video now. So maybe I'll have had it playing this whole time, but I'm now watching this video, which is from an account called Flat Earth Rising, and it's titled The Best of International Fake Station. So yeah, they're now showing the waist harness combined with knee harness to lift up and dip forward. Oh my gosh, the fact they've actually edited this together. Oh, what's this? This is shots of outside the space station. I don't know. Feels like a bit of a stretch, but who knows? Maybe I'll have spotted more while it's been playing. Oh, a NASA glitch apparently. Right, I think they've cracked it. Okay, our next one is a biggie, and honestly a personal favourite of mine, and one that I think has some convincing elements too. It's the moon landing was faked, the 1969 moon landing. So rather than reading all the rebuttals and whatnot, the boring stuff, we're just gonna have a look into the claimed motives of the US and NASA, and then the hoax claims. So, those who believe the moon landings were faked offer several theories about the motives of NASA and the United States government. The 3 main theories are the space race. Motivation for the US to engage the Soviet Union in a space race can be traced to the Cold War. Landing on the moon was viewed as a national and technological accomplishment that would generate worldwide acclaim. But going to the moon would be risky and expensive, as exemplified by President JFK famously stating in a 1962 speech that the United States chose to go because it was hard. The next theory is NASA funding and prestige. Conspiracy theorists claim that NASA faked the landings to avoid humiliation and to ensure that it continued to get its funding. NASA raised about $30 billion to go to the moon, and Casey claimed in his book that this could have been used to pay off many people. Apologies if you can hear the rather sinister sounding ice cream man in the background. And the third theory is the Vietnam War. The American Patriot Friends Network claimed in 2009 that the landings helped the US government distract public attention from the unpopular Vietnam War, and so crewed landings suddenly ended about the same time that the US ended its involvement in the war. So let's take a look at some claims. So we begin with photographic and film oddities. In some photos, the crosshair photos were fitted with a Rizzo plate, a clear glass plate with a reticle etched on, making it impossible for any photographed object to appear in front of the grid. Conspiracists often use this evidence to suggest that objects were pasted over the photographs and hence obscure the reticle. Sometimes crosshairs were rotated or in the wrong place. Number 3, the quality of the photographs is apparently implausibly high. 4, there are no stars in any of the photos. The Apollo 11 astronauts also stated in post-mission press conferences that they did not remember seeing any stars during extravehicular activity. Conspiracists contend that NASA chose not to put the stars into the photos because astronomers would have been able to use them to determine whether the photos were taken from the Earth or the Moon, by means of identifying them and comparing their celestial position and parallax to what would be expected for either observation site. And number 5, the angle and colour of shadows are inconsistent. This suggests that artificial lights were used. Number 6, there are identical backgrounds in photos which were allegedly taken miles apart. This suggests that a painted background was used. Number 7, apparently the number of photos taken is implausibly high, up to 1 photo per 50 seconds. Number 8, the photos contain artifacts like the 2 seemingly matching C's on a rock and on the ground. These may be labelled studio props. Number 9, a woman named Una Ronald, a pseudonym created by the authors of the source, from Perth, Australia, said that she saw a Coca-Cola bottle roll across the lower right quadrant of her television that was displaying the live broadcast of the Apollo 11. She also said that several letters appeared in the West Australian discussing the Coca-Cola bottle incident within 10 days of the lunar landing. The 1994 book Moonshot contains an obviously fake composite photo of Alan Shepard hitting a golf ball on the moon with another astronaut. Number 11, there appear to be hot spots in some photos which look as though a large spotlight was used in place of the sun. Number 12 is simply who filmed Neil Armstrong stepping onto the moon. Okay, we now move on to environment. Number 1. The astronauts could not have survived the trip because of exposure to radiation from the Van Allen radiation belt and galactic ambient radiation. Some conspiracists have suggested that Starfish Prime, a high-altitude nuclear test in 1962, formed another intense layer on the Van Allen belt. Number 2. Film in the cameras would have been fogged by this radiation. Number 3. The moon's surface during the daytime is so hot that camera film would have melted. I don't think that's... Well, I know that's... They're all debunked, but that's the first one where I'm like, there's no atmosphere, right, so how would that happen? Number 4, the Apollo 16 crew would not have survived a big solar flare firing out when they were on their way to the moon. Number 5, this is a big piece of evidence despite there being no wind on the moon. This suggests that it was filmed on Earth and a breeze caused it to flutter. Several said that it may have been caused by indoor fans used to cool the astronauts, since their spacesuit cooling systems would have been too heavy on Earth. Number 6. Footprints in the moon dust are unexpectedly well preserved, despite the lack of moisture. Next, the alleged moon landings used either a soundstage or were filmed outside in a remote desert, with the astronauts either using harnesses or slow-motion photography to make it look like they were on the moon. Isn't there part of the film studio theory that Stanley Kubrick directed the moon landings? And then finally, mechanical issues. Number 1, the lunar modules made no blast craters or any sign of dust scatter. Number 2, the second stage of the launch rocket, or the lunar module ascent stage, or both, made no visible flame. Number 3, the lunar modules weighed 17 tons and made no mark on the moon dust, yet footprints can be seen beside them. And number 4, the air conditioning units that were part of the astronauts' spacesuits could not have worked in an environment of no atmosphere. I mean, maybe it's particularly problematic me not providing the counters to that, but sue me. I like just listing off all the reasons, and the fact that there are so many and then so many rebuttals is funny, but honestly, some of that evidence is actually very interesting. But I think realistically we probably know that they did go to the moon. But yeah, if I read all the, counter proposals and everything and all the truth, it would have been a whole video in itself, and we've got plenty more to get through yet, so let's get on to the next one. Now we have Eisenhower's 1954 dental emergency, debunking the alien meeting myth. In February 1954, President Eisenhower briefly disappeared, leading to speculation about a secret alien meeting. The White House cited a dental emergency, but conspiracy theories suggest extraterrestrial encounters and secret deals. Despite no credible evidence, the story continues to fascinate UFO enthusiasts. So on the evening of February 20th, 1954, President Eisenhower reportedly vanished for several hours during a vacation in Palm Springs. This unexpected absence led to a flurry of speculation and rumours. Was it just a routine escape from public scrutiny, or something more? Ike's disappearance coincided with numerous UFO sightings and an era of heightened interest in extraterrestrial phenomena. As the hours tickled by, the press and public became increasingly curious. Despite official explanations, many couldn't resist imagining what might be happening behind the scenes. This mystery continues to be a focal point for conspiracy theorists. The White House explained Eisenhower's absence as a result of a dental emergency. According to official reports, he had chipped a tooth while enjoying fried chicken. This seemingly mundane reason was provided to satisfy public curiosity. A dental emergency, although plausible, did little to squash the wild theories brewing in the UFO community. Many questioned the lack of immediate media coverage and the sudden urgency of his dental care. Did Ike conspiracy theorists often cite Edwards Air Force Base as the location where Eisenhower allegedly met with extraterrestrial beings. This remote military base in California adds a layer of intrigue to the story. Reports suggest that Ike was whisked away under the cover of night to engage in secret discussions. The airbase's restricted access and military presence make it a perfect setting for clandestine meetings. Was Eisenhower really at Edwards that night, or was it simply a convenient backdrop for an elaborate tale? The mystery remains, fueling endless speculation. Among the various alien encounter theories, one stands out: the Nordic Aliens. Described as tall, pale-skinned beings with striking blue eyes and white hair, these extraterrestrials supposedly met with Eisenhower. According to some accounts, these Nordics came with messages of peace and enlightenment, hoping to guide humanity towards a more harmonious existence. While no tangible evidence supports this encounter, the idea of wise, benevolent aliens resonates with those hoping for a brighter future. Does their very description hint at deeper mythological racial archetypes? It's an intriguing theory that lingers. Allegedly, during the meeting with the Nordic aliens, an extraordinary proposal was made. They offered humanity advanced technology and spiritual guidance in exchange for the abandonment of nuclear weapons. The idea of trading destructive power for enlightenment and technological advancement was tantalizing. Yet such a monumental decision carried heavy implications for national security. Could this have been an opportunity to reshape human history? Or was it merely a fictional tale reflecting Cold War anxieties? The supposed proposal remains one of the most captivating aspects of the Eisenhower alien myth. Some stories claim Eisenhower refused the Nordic aliens' peace proposal, prioritizing national security over potentially transformative advancements. His alleged decision to reject the offer reflects the era's tense geopolitical climate. The idea of abandoning nuclear weapons seemed perilous in a world divided by Cold War tensions. Was Eisenhower's refusal a calculated decision, or did the Nordics even exist? Whether real or imagined, this scenario captures the imagination of conspiracy theorists. Well, all this over a man chipping his tooth, eating some KFC. Yeah, I think it's, not that I have to explain it, but yeah, definitely a case of Cold War tensions and the UFO craze kind of merging into one, but definitely interesting nonetheless. Next up, we have the Black Knight satellite, a 120-year-old conspiracy theory. According to conspiracy theorists, the Black Knight satellite is an alien spacecraft orbiting Earth. Here's what's really going on. The Black Knight satellite conspiracy theory claims that a mysterious artificial object is orbiting Earth in near-polar orbit, possibly of alien origin, and has been doing so for more than 13,000 years. While scientists and space agencies have debunked the claim many times, the Black Knight satellite myth persists in online forums and tabloid articles, fueled by a jumble of unrelated space phenomena, misidentified objects, and speculative science fiction. series of photographs showing a dark, twisted object orbiting Earth. UFO enthusiasts quickly claimed the object was the fabled Black Knight satellite. However, NASA and the astronauts involved offered a more down-to-earth explanation. According to astronaut Jerry Ross, the object was a thermal blanket lost during a spacewalk to install insulation on the International Space Station module. Jerry, one of the thermal covers got away from you, STS-88 Commander Robert Cabana told Ross during the spacewalk, and it soon became apparent that the cover was lost for good. The object was later catalogued by NASA, number 025570, and burned up in Earth's atmosphere a few days later. Much of this information has been placed on the record. Former NASA engineer James Oberg, who personally knows Ross and the person who took the photos, cosmonaut Sergei Krikalev, has demonstrated that these supposed images of the Black Knight actually depict a very mundane object. I want to look at this picture. Oh, can I not zoom in? Oh yeah. I mean, it looks pretty cool. It's a cool picture. The Black Knight satellite myth is a patchwork of different events spanning more than a century. Believers often point to Nikola Tesla's 1899 experiments in Colorado Springs, where he reportedly detected repeating radio signals that he believed might have been from extraterrestrial sources. In 1927, amateur radio operator Jørgen Hols in Norway observed long-delayed radio echoes, signals that return seconds after transmission. This phenomenon, which remains not fully explained, added to the growing legend of strange signals from space. Then in 1954, newspapers published claims by retired US Air Force Major Donald Keough that the US Air Force had detected two artificial satellites orbiting Earth, at a time when no nation had yet launched one. But these claims have never been substantiated. Further fuel was added in 1960, when Time magazine reported that the US Navy detected a dark object thought to be a Soviet spy satellite in orbit. It was later identified as a piece of the Discoverer 8 satellite, America's first spy satellite project. The modern surge in interest in the Black Knight satellite came with the release of images from NASA's STS-88 mission in 1998. The images, as we've showed, do show a strange black wing-like object silhouetted against Earth's blue background. They quickly circulated online and became evidence for the Black Knight in UFO communities. Despite expert explanations, the Black Knight satellite theory remains popular among conspiracy theorists. Part of its endurance lies in human psychology. Our brains are wired to look for patterns, stories, and hidden meanings. The theory also fits into a larger cultural interest in aliens, UFOs, and secret space programs. Recent attention to UAPs, unidentified aerial phenomena, and declassified government reports has made the public even more open to space-related mysteries, even ones that were debunked long ago. The myth's ingredients, Tesla, strange signals, lost satellites, and eerie space photos, are irresistible to those looking for signs of alien contact or government secrets. So what do scientists say about the signals that Tesla detected? Nikola Tesla began to record some very odd signals, seemingly from outer space. While in his Barnlight laboratory in Colorado Springs that year, signals and speculated they had come from an intelligent alien civilization. That's perhaps the least likely explanation, of course. Over the years, some people have speculated that Tesla may have detected emissions from a pulsar, a super-dense, fast-spinning stellar corpse, but that's probably off the mark as well, scientists say. The very first source of non-terrestrial radio waves was discovered in the 1930s, and that was from the centre of our galaxy, which is the most powerful radio source in the sky at many frequencies, said Farajan Gorshian, a scientist at NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory in Southern California. It wasn't until the 1960s that the technology evolved to detect the first pulsars. If what Tesla detected was a real signal and not an artifact of this instrument, then it most likely came from Earth. The legend of the Black Knight satellite is a classic case of mistaken identity, and a reminder of how easily myths can take hold when space, technology and mystery intersect. Though believers claim it is an ancient alien spacecraft watching over Earth, the evidence points to a far more ordinary origin: a thermal blanket lost during a 1998 spacewalk, confused with a handful of loosely connected stories spanning a century. Still, like many conspiracy theories, the Black Knight satellite continues to orbit popular imagination. And we're going to finish this video with this one. Aliens on Mars. What is this strange square? Mysterious images spark debate as netizens link it to the pyramids of Giza. A square-shaped structure on Mars has sparked global interest. The structure, about 1.8 miles wide, appears in images from NASA's Mars Global Surveyor's Mars Orbiter camera. The finding has prompted discussion about its origin, from natural processes to extraterrestrial possibilities. Elon Musk, SpaceX CEO, wants to investigate. After a podcaster shared the image, Musk said, "We should send astronauts to Mars to investigate." So mysterious formation caught in NASA images. The unusual formation was first spotted in archived images from NASA's Mars Global Surveyor, an orbiter that mapped the planet from 97 to 06. The square is located in a rocky region where erosion and tectonic activity shape the landscape. However, its near-perfect angles have led to debates about whether it is a natural occurrence or something else entirely. I want to see this image. I mean, it's definitely square-shaped, I guess. As soon as the images circulated online, discussions arose about the nature of the formation. Some scientists suggest that erosion, volcanic activity, or fracturing could have produced the shape, but its precision has led others to question if an artificial explanation is possible. Elon Musk calls for further investigation. SpaceX CEO Elon Musk quickly took interest in the discovery. After podcaster Joe Rogan shared the image, Musk responded, "We should send astronauts to Mars to investigate." Musk, who has long advocated for human settlement on Mars, sees the formation as another reason to accelerate missions to the Red Planet. SpaceX has already been working on its Starship program, designed for deep space missions. The discovery of this square formation may provide additional motivation for SpaceX to prioritize landing humans on Mars. So, the debate over the square structure's origin. The discovery has has sparked intense discussions, with experts and social media users offering various theories. Number 1. A natural geological formation. Some geologists argue that the square shape could result from natural planetary processes, such as fracturing, erosion, or volcanic activity. Similar formations exist on Earth due to tectonic shifts and wind erosion. Number 2. An optical illusion. Another possibility is that lightning and shadows create the illusion of a square. Similar cases like the famous face on Mars were later found to be natural rock formations distorted by sunlight angles. And number 3. An extraterrestrial structure. Some theorists believe the square could be an artificial structure, possibly remnants of an ancient civilization or an alien-built base. One social media user speculated, what if it's like the base of the pyramids of Giza? While there's no evidence supporting extraterrestrial structures on Mars, the discovery has intensified discussions about life beyond Earth and the need for further exploration. How NASA and SpaceX could investigate. If the formation proves to be of significant interest, they can investigate through high-resolution imaging, robotic exploration, human exploration. The square formation, whether natural or artificial, highlights the importance of continued Mars exploration. Multiple agencies are working toward future missions. As technological advancements progress, discoveries like the Martian Square will continue to fuel curiosity and push the boundaries of space exploration. I don't really think there's a lot there looking at the image, to be honest. It's not. I think that is just natural rocks, right? I think it's a wee bit of a stretch, but let me know what you think. But there we have it. That was 8 conspiracy theories all about space. If you would like to see a part 2 to this, there were honestly so many that I didn't include. Apologies for the up and down lighting, by the way. I'm filming this during the day, and even though my curtains are closed, the light just pours in sometimes. But yeah, plenty more space themed conspiracy theories to cover, so comment down below if you would like a part 2. I'd be more than happy to oblige, of course. But also comment down below what category of theories you'd like to see as well. I believe next I've got conspiracies about Earth, so flat Earth, hollow Earth, Bermuda Triangle, that kind of thing. Then I think TV shows and movies one. But after that I'm all ears, so any kind of semi-specific arenas or themes that you want us to discuss conspiracy theories of, then be sure to let me know down below. But that is going to do it for tonight's video. I really hope you did